Welcome everyone to my podcast, today number 34. But like always, I'm going to give you some information around this number, around the angel's number. I'm drawn to the angel's number. But before, I would like to tell you the name, master your emotion and find your truth, your own truth. So number 34 at the angel's number, and what the angel is telling you today, if you're feeling stuck, but it's not a such thing that we're stuck in the emotions, in the energy. But anyway, in the human perspective, if you feel that stuckness inside you, definitely it's time to move on, and definitely time to do something with your life. So change the location, change the clothes you're wearing, change the way of the eating, any kind of the habits, and you will be inspired by the angels, and you'll be have a lots of support from them. But I'm going to stop because I would like to plant the seeds with the numbers, the angels numbers, so you can go online and search, and maybe you can go and ask more different people, different souls who really, really love talking about these numbers. So today I've got a beautiful, beautiful soul. Um, wow, I couldn't stress enough. We postponed so many, so many times, but today is that day. Um, so that beautiful soul is Genevieve Taeger, and she's a best-selling author who's over the past 20 years channeled a lot of spirit guides, angels, and goddess, ascended masters. That information I found it on your website. So I'm so happy having you today. Would you like say something to my audience? What are you doing for the living? Anything you would like to share about yourself?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Um, what I've been guided to do is really help people to awaken to their spirit and realize that they can actually communicate with their spirit. They can discover that it actually has a desire for you while you're here on earth. And many people keep thinking, I don't know if you've ever noticed where people say, can you tell me my purpose? Can you tell me my purpose?
Yeah.
And what the benevolent realm has showed me is that you can actually find that out yourself. And they want people to start connecting to their own spirit and realize that there's this incredible power that they have access to, and incredible love, incredible joy, all the good qualities that they could experience, they have access to. And so I'm here to empower people, to help them to realize that they can access that, and they can discover so many things. And even in some cases, some people can make a business out of it too, or they can just decide to live those qualities in their life, in their everyday life. So that's basically in a nutshell
Mhm.
what I do.
Okay, wow. But how is that? If that was a really common for you since you've been born, or something just only happened a few weeks ago, or how did you unravel this beautiful gift inside you?
Yeah, it was funny because no, when I was a kid, I was just like a normal human being. Although I was always knowing who I was for some reason. I just had that knowing inside of myself. And when I was 16, I was doing my hair, getting ready, and then all of a sudden I felt the presence of Mother Mary in my room.
Oh, wow. How's that
Yeah,
feel? How's that feel? That Mother
it
Mary in your room.
yeah, it felt I just felt this sacred presence, and I didn't see anything, but I felt I did in my mind's eye. I saw the image of when they wear that
Yeah. The,
clothing, but there was no color to the image. So I just knew that there's like a cloak
okay.
wearing, you know, and I felt that it was Mother Mary. But what is interesting is that I didn't know anything about Mother Mary. I didn't even know who she was. I wasn't brought up with understanding any of this. My parents were just spiritual. They just said, meditate and the answers are within. That's all they ever taught me. So for me to actually know it's Mother Mary when I had no background, no knowledge about who Mother Mary was, it was pretty amazing. And so she came in there, and I immediately got down on my knees and I felt gratitude. And I think I was there for about 30 seconds just in gratitude. And now I realize that I think she was initiating me. And
Mm.
And so it kind of went on from there, is that when I was 18, I had an out-of-body experience. When I was sleeping, there was some kind of guru that said, now it is time. And so I became one with the light in the same way that people have near-death experiences. So I had that awakening of that I knew who we were. And and then, so that was when I was 18. And somewhere, I think it was in my late 20s or early 30s, I can't quite remember, where I started having visitations from different ascended masters, from Kuan Yin, from Mother Mary again, and giving me teachings. And it would often happen in my sleep where I would receive these teachings. And then slowly, in my early 30s, I decided that I would investigate this. And for some reason, I had taken Reiki, and then I thought, I'm going to learn how to do automatic writing. I like see all those books there. I went nuts. I bought all these books. That was the time in my early 30s. So I've got some really great books from back then that people were writing. And so I came across the one about automatic writing, and I started doing that. And next thing you know, Kuan Yin comes through, and I didn't even know who she was. And she just started, it was easy. It was easy to do. And from there, I realized that I can access many beings. And up until this point, I've counted them. There's about 60 that have come through. And it's pretty, they're all ascended masters, primarily ascended masters, some angels, and some goddesses.
Wow, that's amazing. I love you. I love what you just said about you've been like a normal human until 16 years old, and then so how you can define being normal human? So that's because so many people just saying, oh, you're kind of the normal, and who is not normal? Can you just only explain a little bit more your perspective, of course, around it to be a normal, and what is that normal?
That's a funny question. Yeah. I was just going to school, having fun, living life, not trying to do some kind of connecting with beings on the other side or anything like that. And I did have that inner knowing about my spirit that I always had, at that time I couldn't share that with people because they would think I'm weird.
Yeah.
Back then that would be something that they were very threatened by. Just me talking about that I have a connection to my spirit. So I kept that quiet, and for the most part, I played the clarinet, and I was in the school band, and I was in the gym, and I did athletics in the gym, and I loved science, and I was good at school in high school.
Oh, wow.
It's just I was just living the life, and then thinking, what am I going to do when I start working, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then suddenly Mother Mary just only came appearing in front of you and just only surrounded you, and then you dropped on your knee. Wow, that's really, really amazing. So would you mind just only tell my audience how is that a channeling, or how is that energy appearing, or how we can feel them? Probably so many, or maybe some of the people just only got that experience, or maybe they drawn to, but they're not really sure, is that really energy of the Mother Mary or angels? So how you would like to describe it in your own?
Yeah, it's a good question, because that's something that I had to figure out myself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You did it. You did it.
I did it. And what I find, even to this day, if I'm having a moment, like it actually happened, I was doing a channeling event, and there were a bunch of people there, and it was online. And people would ask a question, and then suddenly I'm closing my eyes and I'm connecting to see who's going to answer. And then a new being came through, Asclepios. And at the time, I didn't know the name. I had never channeled that being. And so I felt the energy, and I felt a quality, and I knew it had to do with the wisdom of medicine and herbology and energy healing and all kinds of healing modalities. And so what I did was I just paid attention to the quality of energy, when I was giving a message. And when I say quality, when you tap into joy, you feel that quality of joy. You know it's uplifting and it's kind of expansive and it's fun and playful. Mm-hmm. When you tap into the quality of like a studious nature, someone studying away, you know what that quality of energy is. It's very focused, driven. So you pay attention to what energy feels like with particular qualities, emotions, skills, that kind of thing. So I knew that that quality was about medicine, about herbology, about that. So that I knew. And then I had a kind of like a visual in my mind's eye of something grease, something, and wearing the kind of, clothing. And then as I was talking for 3 minutes or so, then later on at the end, the name appeared.
Okay.
And so sometimes it might take me, like if I'm doing it on my own and the new being is coming through, sometimes it might take me 10 minutes before I'm given the name, because I'm often given the qualities, the images, and so forth to be able to understand. And some people might have impatience when they're first learning, thinking that they should automatically know who's popping up, right? But that's not the case. That's not the case. It's something that just trust in the process. And sometimes people won't be told, but just pay attention to the energy that you're experiencing. And then the next time you do it, you might notice there's a different energy that you're experiencing. And so pay attention to those qualities, and you might notice, oh, this particular energy is coming back today. So then you start to recognize that this energy has to do with some type of being different than the previous one. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when you're connecting, you're just connecting to the Holy Spirit. You're just connecting to divine guidance directly, or to your spirit. And you're just receiving wisdom directly that you need. And that's fantastic on its own.
So how does that feel when you're receiving the knowledge and information, that beautiful, divine, golden light from the source? How does that feel?
It feels, so what happens for me is, and it happens for many people people that are starting to do it and I'm trying to help them through it, is they often start to feel a tingling sensation on the head. And I do as well. And what I notice is the energy center in this area, it opens up the size of the room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And same with this one too, around the throat area. So that opens up as well. And the heart, I think, opens up quite a bit, not as wide. And then what I feel is I feel a stream of energy coming down, like a huge stream, but it's not like here. It's like this wide and it's coming down. And I feel that my particular aura and energy centers are being increased in frequency. So I'm kind of rising up to be able to understand the information that comes my way, and to kind of connect with the dimension where the benevolent realm is. Because every spirit, like when you think about people who've just passed on, they're the dimension that some of them are in are not as advanced as like an angel or an ascended master. And it's all based on everything is energy. And so that vibrates much faster. And in order to be able to tap into such a high vibration, you must be resonating to that yourself. And so this is why I start to experience this increase in energy. And it makes me feel uncomfortable. It's like it's vibrating so fast, and I'll feel lightheaded afterwards. I might not feel so grounded. And so I have to make sure I get grounded, go in nature, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Great. And you've been talking, and I just only saw the orb in front of you, just only flew away, and just only straight away go up. So yeah, you are surrounded. You are surrounded with beautiful beings. So what led you to the channeling? So how did you know, and when did you know is a kind of the channeling? And
So what led me to it was, what led me to it? I'm trying to figure out what came first, but I remember I learned Reiki, and I was getting curious, and I think what led me to it was reading those books. And
Yeah,
then
just behind you.
and I thought, oh, I want to learn everything. Oh yeah, I want to learn how to use a pendulum. What are other ways to communicate? And so I was practicing with the pendulum, and then when I was practicing, I was the pendulum. I had made an alphabet thing on a dial with an alphabet,
Uh-huh.
12 words, right? And I was being told to, without the words channel, but basically I was being told to channel, that this is way too slow to spell out words.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I came across, and I was wondering, how do you do that? How do you just directly, because I was curious, how do you actually directly receive information without this slow method? And that's when I came across a book on automatic writing. And
Yeah.
then I practiced that, and then it worked. And so that's kind of how I got into it. And also I had meetup groups in my, I can't remember the age, but late 30s, early 40s. And then and then I stopped because I had a separation from my ex-husband, and I needed to grieve during that
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what happened was then I met my current husband 2 years later after we had broken up. And then there was a process of experiencing that relationship. So there was a time span, quite a long time span, several years, where I hadn't done any of this. And then I met this man local, who helps people to channel.
Oh wow. So that's like a breadcrumb. So the universe
Yes.
just that was like, oh, you can
Yeah.
go there, you can go there, you can go there.
And he said to me, and he, by the way, he helps many people to channel. Like there are people on the those
Oh
famous
wow.
podcasts that he's helped. So so he came to me, and he's yeah, he's much older. Anyway, he came to me and he said, Genevieve, have you ever heard of channeling? And I thought, and I rolled my eyes and I thought, okay, universe, what are you doing to me? You're gonna make me come out now in the
Yeah.
public, just local. And that's exactly what happened. Is he said, oh, we can have a session together. And so I thought, okay, fine. And I did. And right away, all this advanced information came, and he knew, you don't even need guidance on how to channel. When are you going to come out into the world?
Yeah.
And that's what led to all of this.
Oh wow, it's amazing. So how does that feel? So when you're sitting, when you're closing your eyes, and do you have any ritual, saying that prayer before, and just only asking, or just only you can sit down and you close your eyes and boom, and now you can hear it, that words. How does that feel anyway? How does that feel?
Yeah, so it depends. Usually what happens, let's just say if I want to channel for myself, I'll ask myself some questions first. I'll write
Mm-hmm.
some questions down. If I'm doing it for someone else, I want to know their thoughts and their questions as well.
Yeah.
And then I place my hand, I always place my hand on my heart, and I'm giving myself Reiki. And I'm maintaining a heart connection for a reason, so that I can kind of stay stabilized, stay grounded, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I find it much better than if I have my hands on my lap for some reason. So I always have my hands here, and then I don't do any ritual. I feel the energy in my heart. I just feel myself feeling centered, and then I pay attention to who's coming and who wants to talk, and then I can start talking.
Oh wow, that's so quick. I could just come here.
Yeah, it's right
And they
away.
approve. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you've been gifted. That's amazing. So that
Yeah.
all the channeling. So you can hear some words, or you can, and also you can feel some energy, like you mentioned at the beginning. So how do you recognize? Because you said a goddess, so I know you didn't describe very well, and they wearing the clothes, a certain clothes, and the name coming at the end. But how about the angels? So how you can recognize the angels? Did you know anything about the angels before you began the channeling?
I did when I so when I when I started the automatic writing, I used to have people come into my house for like a meetup group. And I channeled, I did automatic writing. I created a document of some teaching ahead of time, and it would be a new being who would come. It would be either an ascended master or an angel. And so I would do that writing, and then I would share the teaching with them, and then I would give some kind of initiation, healing meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I haven't had I haven't worked with lots of archangels. It seemed like there was a lot of ascended masters coming, one after another. And so how I recognize archangels is their energy, you know, ascended masters, they tend to have an energy that's more solid, more kind of human-like. Of course, they're benevolent, they're high frequency, but I feel like they're more grounded. And
Okay.
and the archangels, they're extremely high frequency, like higher, and they feel very airy, very light. There's no grounding in them at all. It's just very light, kind of. And I often feel that like if I were to do this and on my hand, or if you have a feather and you're doing that, I
Yeah.
feel it's like a breeze that
Yeah.
happens. And so I know that that's an archangel. And often they show me a color, very specific color. And for some reason, that color lets me understand who they are. And they will often show me the spelling of their name.
That's so amazing. Because how I can see it, when I'm just doing the session with the people, so I'm just only seeing the color always, just only color appearing in front of me first. But like you're describing about this lightness, so I'm just only seeing in my own third eye. I would like to say my mind eye, my inner eye. I would like to say it's like kind of the fluffy as a cloud. So I'm just on day swinging, and that's anyway. But actually, I've got my wings behind me. I'm not flying away today. Anyway, not now, not now. I'm just going to finish the podcast. It's amazing to feeling that stuff. It's amazing. So how the people, so when you're out and now you know, okay, so you know everything about the channeling and that guy helped you. And now you are ready to step out of your comfort zone, I would like to say. And then how your family responded about it, or maybe your friends, did they call you, you're crazy, or you lost your mind, or something like that? How did they perceive you?
Some people, some maybe previous coworkers or something like that, where I used to work, they just do a like on my comments or something like that. They don't,
I know.
or they might say congratulations, but I know that part of them is thinking they don't get it at all, they don't understand it, but they're not unkind to me.
Yeah.
My I in terms of family, I have my mom and my brother, and that's it. That's all I have left in my family. And my mom is very supportive. She's actually going around, so cute. She's going around and she's telling people in her meetup groups that she goes to, oh, Genevieve has this book, and
Oh,
it's really
wow.
it's really sweet. And
Oh,
my brother is supportive, yet at the same time he has doubts about some things, especially I think about the channeling part. So I don't really talk to him about it. I just let it be. And my husband, it's funny because my husband, when I first met him, I told him about this part of me and it scared him. He just thought, no way. And that was actually part of the reason why I couldn't do that yet as a business. And
okay.
for some reason, what I found is over time, he started to awaken to this concept, and he's now saying supportive things, which is shocking to me. It seems to now be logical to him. So there's been some healing that has happened for him, and I haven't tried to do any healing. I haven't tried to convince him of anything. It's just been a miracle to me how that's happened.
Yeah, because you've been, just only you be who you truly are, and your energy was, yeah, just impacting on his or on his own field. Anyway, you had a contract before, so I'm telling always for my husband, like I remember myself 15 years ago when I started my awakening. Actually, I was much more than 15 years ago, but 15 years ago, I had a really, really challenging time in my life. And he thought I lost my mind. I said, no, I didn't. I didn't. And he didn't really, really grasp that concept in me, but slowly, slowly, slowly. And now he's on the same page, I would like to say, in the human language as me. Maybe not the same level of the frequency, but he's allowing himself and what I'm doing. Actually, he's really, yes, he's really supporting me, but also he's allowing me to do the session for him. So that's the big step forward. So maybe it's the same situation in your life, that kind of, because we have frequency, like you said, we are the energy. So uh, how you can, I would like to say, maybe not the energy, because I would like to talk about the energy, but now I would like to talk a little bit more about your book. Would you mind just only say to my audience a little bit more, what did you included in that book? So maybe they will be drawn to get some copy one day.
Yeah. So I'll show you the book so you can see it. So it's called Heal and Awaken the Goddess Within. And it was interesting because I was told that that had to be the title. And anyone who knows about marketing is that you don't just create a title. You actually create a title that people search for. And people will not search for that. But I was told that it had to be that title. And it was interesting because I didn't even know what I was gonna write. I literally just started channeling. Okay, I was told you need to write right now, write right now. And I said, okay, okay. And then I did. I started chapter 1. What am I to write? And then right away the words came.
Wow.
And I didn't even know what each sentence would be. As I was writing the sentence, I found out what I was writing at the end of the sentence for each sentence. And the goal here is to move people from that feeling of feeling like they're stuck in a situation that they can't get out of in terms of life circumstances, stuck with living a certain way, not happy, feeling anxiety, feeling down about life, and but also having some kind of calling inside of themselves. They know that there's something more and they don't know how to find it. And it's often those people who say, I want to develop my intuition. That's what they tend to do because they feel like there's something inside of them that knows that they'll discover their calling when they do that. And so this book is to help people to do that and to uncover that. But not only that, it's not just uncovering that, because when you uncover your greatness and your possibilities, it becomes scary. And so how do you deal with that fear? Because when you, like, each time, as an example, each time I'm being shown to do something next in my business, then I get shown the next level. And so there's always the challenge. And like I say to people, you will be challenged to be an Oprah Winfrey if you allow it to happen, because every time you grow, you're going to be asked to go to the next level and to the next level, next, and to be in front of audience of 1 million people. It's until you say, no, that's enough for me, thanks.
Yeah.
So you have this greatness within you, and they want to show you this greatness, and your spirit wants to show you this greatness. So how do you handle that and not self-sabotage and be able to move past that so that you can then be led by your spirit's guidance to have a connection? Because what Mary Magdalene told me is that we've been castrated from our spirit. And so it's time to reunite us back with our spirit. So what they've done is they're 22 ascended masters and goddesses, and Archangel Raphael and Archangel Sandalphon came through to give these teachings and to give initiations. So what they do is they're actually working on your energy body. And the first one is actually with Jesus, Mother Mary, and Serapis Bey. And, you know, the interesting thing is I'm having paintings done from my oracle cards, and the artist, he was painting he knew that Jesus was in my painting. So he thought, oh, I feel guided to do Jesus. And then he did Mother Mary. And then suddenly he's drawing this third being, and he was confused. And then he was thinking, well, maybe it's Mother, the Father, Son. And then he realized, no, that's not it, because there's this Mother Mary here. And then I said, that's Serapis Bay. It actually looks like Serapis Bay. It's got the blue of Serapis Bay. That's exactly Serapis Bay. And in that initiation, they're connecting you to your divine DNA. Because what they said is when your spirit was born, it has a divine DNA. And so it's kind of like you're being recalibrated. And so you're having these initiations throughout the book, and people actually have picked up the book, some like people that are very sensitive and have felt the vibration. And some people have read the initiations and emailed me and said that they cried and they had to integrate the energy and couldn't go on to the next chapter, which is exactly what I say, is you have to integrate the energy. And so the whole idea is to be able to develop a connection, first of all, with your spirit, discover your purpose, discover your calling, and understand what it is that you can do, what actions can you take to live that calling. And so what they do is they guide you to be able to learn how you can take actions. And they heal you on the corporate mind thinking and the smart goal thinking, and get away from that and realize that the divine is telling you how to take steps, and understanding that the steps are not necessarily in a linear fashion the way you're so used to.
That's completely true, because it's not what you want, it's exactly what your divine plan is supposed to be anyway. So that's why just a lot of people saying, I want this, I want this, I want it. Why it's not coming this now? That's supposed to be like that. But the word supposed to is like put it away. Yeah. So how we can, I would like to say, how we can develop that spirit, how we can allow that spirit to come in. Because I would like to say around something about me. I had feeling, and also I've been told through someone was helping me through my healing, and they told me my spirit zone is halfway in me, and if I'm not allowing my spirit to come in fully, I won't be able to go forward. So how we can help ourselves to allow that spirit go fully inside us? Do you have any technique, or do you have any words on it?
Yeah, there's actually an initiation in the book, and it's quite beautiful. Yeah, there's a few actually that are in the book, and the first thing, Mary Magdalene comes in, and she reignites the Sacred Heart. And the Sacred Heart is located between kind of the center of your chest and your throat, and the Sacred Heart is the portal to your spirit. And she activates, she wants me to say reactivates. So she reactivates this portal with a flame, like a passion flame, so to say. And the reason why she uses passion is because passion is your spirit's desires. So she's awakening you here to your spirit. And as an example, you can call on her and she will do that. She will awaken you to your spirit. Now, there are no rules to how you do things, and everything is perfect. Whatever you feel guided to do, if you just want to sit in meditation and experience your spirit, you can do that, because your spirit is always there. Sometimes when people place rules on other people and say, oh, you know, like you mentioned about the halfway thing.
Yeah.
I would caution people on believing that, because you can in an instant be able to experience your spirit with intention. The power of the mind is meant, what they told me is that the mind is meant for intention, to place intention and attention on things. So the moment you place your intention that you're receiving the spirit, then you are. The moment and when you place your attention on that, instead of placing your attention in the mind, you place your attention on this divine flowing through you, then it's happening. And so that's the power of the attention. And what I'm also guided is that the reason why you go here is because you go into the feeling space and allow yourself to feel love. Allow yourself to feel the quality of divine love. Everyone knows what that energy feels like. And just take a moment to feel that. And while you're in love, stay in that sense of love, and then place your attention on the guidance I was given, as an example, was on this area above the head, the soul star chakra. It's about 30 centimeters above the head. And this is the place that's exponentially higher than this frequency around the head. And this is where the benevolent realm communicates to you. This is where your spirit communicates to you. So they communicate via that soul star chakra. And so what you're doing is you're placing your attention there, and you're receiving information and guidance when you place your attention there. And when you do, pay attention to what thoughts arise in your head. And also, you can also experience this divine flowing through you at the same time, because it happens. The moment you place your attention there, you start to experience all of this opening. And so when you know it to be true that you're experiencing your spirit, then you are. It's all in alignment with knowing, because the divine is the knowing. And what we need to do is realize that the divine is not separate from us. And when the divine is flowing through us, we must become like the divine. And when we become like the divine, we're commanding it to be so.
Yeah. Yes, that's so true. But I love the word you just only mentioned, knowingness. Knowingness. For me, knowingness is my intuition, my inner knowingness. I would like to repeat it myself. But anyway, that's the intuition. But I just only found on your website there was a 3-step to the awakening your intuition. Would you mind just only a little bit tell my audience around the 3-step, how they can awake their own intuition? And that will be also the connecting the spirits inside them and trusting much more. Anything about this, I would be happy.
So I have to remember the steps, but basically, because I'm in the channeling mode at the moment, I'm not using my mind, but one is to go into the heart center and to feel that place, and then go into the divine mind and to be able to connect to the divine mind. And when you place your attention on the divine mind, this is when you're receiving the information. So that's kind of what I mentioned. And in that, you can then ask questions. So you can ask, what is my purpose? And pay attention to the words that appear as thoughts in your head while your attention is still on this area in the soul star chakra. It's important not to place your attention in the brain. It's like you place your attention there and you suddenly notice the thoughts that pop up in your head, because that is the best form of communication for them to you, so that you can actually get full sentences. And I've actually had so many people who have never tried this before, who are basic at spiritual development and they're advanced. When they try this method, they're writing sentences. Wow. And it's amazing. It's beautiful to see. And so you can really discover that purpose inside of you. The first, now I'm remembering too, the first step is about healing our cellular memory. Our cellular memory holds trauma from this life, past lives, and ancestral lives.
Yeah. That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. And that trauma, what happens as we're doing things in life, someone says something and we get pissed off. Something happens and we create new behaviors to be able to handle those situations. And we live that life living in fear, basically, without even realizing it. We're doing these safe behaviors, and everyone does it. it's pretty hard not to do it, but we can heal from that and change our behaviors. And so the goal is to be able to change new neural pathways. But what the benevolent realm has said that's really important before you change your neural pathways is to be able to recognize some situations in your life where you just feel like you keep behaving in a certain way. As an example, I remember someone at work, every time I saw him, my body started to shake. And it was frustrating because it's not what I felt towards him. And it annoyed me. And I would become paralyzed and I couldn't speak. And I would have to work with him consistently and ask him questions and get guidance. He was a senior. So what the guidance is being shown is that instead of re-traumatizing yourself and going to a memory that you remember, because in some cases you can't with past lives and ancestral lives, you don't know the memory. What they're asking you to do is just notice that in a particular situation, your body is doing this. And so in my case, in the particular situation, when I was in front of male authority figures, my body was shaking and I was like feeling like I was being choked. And I was feeling like I didn't have a voice and I couldn't be me, and he was going to crush me down. Now, what I'm doing is I'm being the observer. This is what they describe. It's like the God is being the observer. So the divine through me, shining through me, is seeing through my eyes, observing that my body is shaking. And then what they say is to invite the benevolent realm in, or the divine or the Holy Spirit, whatever, to sweep that away and transmute it. And what they said is they know what frequencies that is. So what frequency is the shaking thing? And it's a particular vibration, particular wavelengths. And what they do is they send in the opposite wavelengths through your body, and it gets neutralized. So which means that it's transmuted, it's gone, it's not a problem anymore. And then what you notice it, and you can just do that in like a 15 minute guided meditation. You can give it to yourself. You can invite that in and have that transmuted. And it's very important because you free yourself up, you free your body up, because your cells are communicating to your brain to behave in a certain way. And you can't, many times can't control that situation. It's so annoying. You've dealt with it in psychology over and over and over again. You've had sessions and it's still not going away. So this is a situation where when you're dealing with those things that don't go away, you need the benevolent realm to help. But you can't just apparently just say, okay, take away whatever my problems is. You need to first pay attention to what your body is doing in certain circumstances.
That's true. Yeah.
That shifts that. And as a result, then now you can create new neural pathways, new behaviors start to get formed, and so forth. And so that is the first step. And then the second step is going to the heart, connecting to the divine mind, experiencing that. And then the third is asking questions and being able to receive the divine guidance. So it's kind of like we need to make room for this spirit to be able to, for us to have a better connection, for us to raise our vibration. But when we're held down with this incessant behavior that our body does, then it holds us back.
Yeah, that's amazing, because when you've been talking, I generally had vision, like you've got for example, if somebody got a really, really dusty room and lots of furniture and lots of like ancient, I would like to say ancient time, I don't know, toys and that kind of things, you can imagine that's a lot of dust and a lot of spider webs and that kind of thing. So you need to clear it out and just only organize, and then you can invite. You can open the curtain and then the sun will be come in, or maybe you can buy some flowers. Those, and maybe you can put some frequency on it. That's incense or something like that. That's how I can see that. But so many of the people just only didn't really, how can I say, didn't believe truly if they're going to sit down in the through the meditation and just only asking the spirits, guides, and ascended master come in, and just only heal them straight away. So how they can help themselves through that time is any, because sometimes the people just only going straight away and doing the affirmation, maybe that way I can say, and doing the affirmation. So that information you just only shared with us today is so valuable. I really appreciate that, because so many of people didn't know. They need to clear it up, and then they can go and talk to the subconscious mind. But how they can help them if they don't really believe in themselves? Oh, maybe that way.
So how do they change from not believing to believing?
Yeah, that could be like that.
Yeah. What I say and what they say is that believing is still keeps you separate. And the goal is to change from believing to knowing. And the way I talk about it is use some logic in energy. Use some logic in science. We know that in energy, we know that energy goes through everything. We know that, and I always use this example, but the cellular network is coming through our walls. It's not going up the chimney and down and through the room, you know, when I open the door. No, it's coming through the walls. And it's also coming through me, unfortunately. It's coming through everything. In the same way that the divine energy is also coming through everything, and it is part of everything. It's part of the table and so forth. So many people have this misconception that the divine is something separate, and it only comes when we call upon it. It's always here. And when you, okay, so now you understand that part. The second part is that what they do know is that this energy has an intelligence. They know that. They've observed it when they did the quantum mechanics. They observed that when you become the observer, it does a different behavior. So there's an intelligence. It knows when you are observing it. And so it knows, it has an intelligence. It has an understanding. And because of that, that means that you have this access to this divine intelligence. Now, it doesn't matter whether or not you believe that there are angels or Sen masters or whatever. All you need to know is that there's this divine intelligence soaring through you, because many people have different religions and so forth. They all believe that there's this divine intelligence. And so it has an intelligence. That's the key thing. And it is love. And everyone has proven to themselves this quality of love. So they've experienced that. And I don't think there's one person really who hasn't experienced some form of it, even for a moment in their life. And so when you can say, I know that this energy is flowing through me, I know that I'm inseparate from it. It's impossible. If the cellular network is flowing through me, then this is also flowing through me. It's energy. I mean, this energy is in electricity. It is. Electricity is that energy. So it's flowing through everything. And I'm not separate from it. And because I know it has an intelligence, I know that it knows better than me what the hertz frequency is of my particular emotion that I'm experiencing, where my body is going like this. And it's funny because I just got a thumbs up on my screen and I'm not touching my keyboard. So it knows the frequency. There's no way I can possibly measure the frequency of me shaking when I experience my coworker, and so, or previous coworker. I don't work there anymore. So it knows, and so that's all intelligence. That's all you using logic. And when you know that, you can't deny that. It's impossible to deny it. It's a fact. It's proven. These things are fact. It's intelligent. It knows. And now you know through intention, because intention is the key thing here that makes everything manifest. You know that when you intend that you're going to go do something, it happens. You go do it. Same thing. You intend something, the intelligence already knows what you're intending. It's not separate from you. It's not something from far away. Again, it's through you and it's through everything. It's understanding your mind. It's understanding your thoughts. It's not separate. And when you understand that, all you need to do is ask, as people have read in different sacred books, is you ask and you receive. There's no delay. And so intention is asking. I'm intending now that this be transmuted. what I have observed about what's going on in my body be transmuted, and it happens immediately, because that is the asking that happens. You don't ask in a begging way, because that's creating a separation and then a belief that maybe something will happen for you. But when you know through intention that it will, and that it knows what to do, then you say, okay, go ahead. I'm intending it happen now through my meditation. And I know that it's going to happen because you are all intelligent. And so you know what to do. And so I'm just going to sit back and enjoy while I receive this healing.
Yeah, sit back and enjoy. So many of us are impatient. We've been programmed, we've been suppressed, and we're being told just quick gratification, instant gratification. Oh my goodness, that's a vast garbage we just only carry inside us. So, but we don't know. Yeah, that's a manifestation. And beautifully you said, sometimes the people actually we're manifesting everything straight away. I manifested this podcast, and you are here. I didn't know I will be talking with you, but anyway, I will be talking to the beautiful soul and talking about the angels and ascended masters. But we are talking. Actually, we don't know how is that powerful the words we are carrying inside us. Can you tell a little bit us if you got that information about how powerful spoken words and they impacting our manifestation, or just only they related to our manifestation?
Yeah. In the beginning was the word is the first thing that came to me when you said that.
Oh wow.
But words, intention is important with words, because if you do not know those words to be true, whatever you say, then it's not actually powerful. As an example, if I were to say to someone, I'm not attractive, but I know I am. The more powerful thing is actually my knowing, and I'm just goofing around and not really telling you. I'm making it. And people say, "Oh, you shouldn't say that because you're gonna bad stuff is happening." No, my intention is much stronger than that.
What are you saying?
Yeah. So words are powerful, but more powerful are the intention. And even before you say the word is the intention.
That could be a feeling because you feel before you're going to say something, you're going to receive that information through the energy, just only that's going to hit your heart and just, oh, and then you feel. And afterwards, you're going to create that thoughts and word, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, feeling is extremely powerful.
But also, I just only heard something about the feeling, and also, like, we are not the body, we're not even the mind. So the feeling is illusion. How is that resonates with you?
I think that's not true at all. I'm kindly saying that.
Okay, no, I just only
It's,
found somewhere, and I would like
yeah,
to. Yeah, I'm happy
yeah,
to because that is speak your truth. So everyone
yeah,
allowed to speak what they would like to speak.
yeah. So with feeling is the illusion is when we want to understand illusion. Illusion is anything that is not of the divine qualities. In other words, yes, when you're living in human form and you feel anger, you feel crap, you feel all these negative things, those are real in human form. However, they're not real in the divine form. So when you believe that life is crap, that's the illusion. At the moment, you are experiencing a crappy life. But what the divine is trying to say is that that's not true. You can experience greatness. And when you steer yourself in that knowing, because you know that the divine is filled with greatness and that it can show you the way to greatness because it is not separate from you, that's the real truth. And so it's hard as a human being to realize that we have these bad moments in life. How can we at the same time experience the real qualities? And Mary Magdalene came because for a session with a client of mine who experiences pain and has for 30 years. many people experience chronic pain. What do you do in this situation when you're experiencing pain? It is real in the body. You're experiencing it. And in some cases, unless miracles can happen, but in some cases, not everyone can align with that miracle. So how are you able to experience a good life when you're experiencing this pain? You can. And the way you do it is through attention and intention, and place your focus on the reality of the divine. And when you do, what she says is, you start to rise to a new dimension, and you're experiencing that dimension where there is no time and space, and where there are good qualities and so forth. So this pain that you experience in your body becomes less, and in some cases you don't even notice the pain, even though the pain is still existing in the body. So this is the difference between experiencing the divine truth, because you still have a spirit. You still have this connection to this divine because you are part of that intelligence. And accessing that intelligence is through your attention and attention.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, you're in the realm of the divine. And then you know that those things are an illusion because they're temporary. They're not real. What's real is what's flowing through you at all times. It's very esoteric to be able to understand it.
Yeah, but I love what how do you say, but also, yeah, I was just really curious about is that feeling illusion, or maybe it's not the illusion, but have you ever asked, maybe, I don't know, angels or spirit about around that feeling? Is the feeling is illusion, or is the feeling is really real? On another side, I would like to see another side. That's a real side, because we are the spirit, we are the soul, we are energy. So what we are experiencing now on the 3D dimension world, 4 dimension world, as a game, is as a projection. So it's another side, our home. We are just only still feeling that emotions, or any emotion on another side.
No, on the other side, this is what I'm being told. And I mean, I've experienced it too. When I had that, that's the great thing about the gift I had about having that out of body experience when I was 18 was that, you know, if you can imagine the sun, when you're outside in the sun and you actually feel the rays coming towards you,
Yeah.
this feeling, and you feel the warmth.
Mm-hmm.
When you're having that out of body experience, when you're no longer in your body, you also experience these rays constantly coming at you, and they are filled with love and intelligence. And it's so strong, it's so amazing that you're moved to tears, because you will have never felt so much love in your life as
Oh.
as that love. And it's exponentially more than the love for your son, for the love for your daughter, for the love for your grandmother, for your husband. It's so much more. It's exponentially more. You're amazed at how loved you are. And it's overwhelming, that experience. And I don't remember the question, but I just got drawn to share that with you.
Oh, that's amazing, because I was only asking you about the feeling, but you are just only explain straight away. It's still feeling outside, even when you're out of the body, when you're really, really pure, clean, beautiful soul energy, you're still feeling. So you just only, what's going on? My voice cracking. So you just only answer, because I asked, have you ever asked the spirit? Is a that kind of the emotion, like a feeling, they feel another side, but you said you just only experience that beautiful light. You experience that warmness of the loving energy. Wow.
What I've noticed is this, like Saint Germain, he's all about joy. And he's
Wow.
resonating with the quality of a joy. Lord Lanto is all about resonating with the quality of the divine mind. So he's all about divine intelligence and so forth. Buddha is all about internal peace and stillness and experiencing that stillness. Kuan Yin is all about compassion and having compassion. Isis is all about strength and balance. So they are experiencing those qualities of energy, and they're very focused with those qualities of energy. At the same time, they are experiencing the main quality, which is love, in this energy and the power of it as well. But when they're on the other side, it's almost like they have a a purpose, and they're focused on that purpose, and they're experiencing that quality, and they're teaching others about that quality. Saint Germain is also about alchemy and teaching about that. So we are not, when you literally is this the right word, immerse in the divine, then literally when you're a no thing, and you are as an identity experiencing the divine, then you are experiencing just love and the power and the intelligence. However, when you then go and as a spirit and explore, and whatever your intention is, you start to experience that quality. But they're all benevolent qualities, because in that realm, you're not experiencing the human form. You're not clouded by the mental mind, who is experiencing the physical body, the pains of the physical body, and all these things which cause us to have emotions that are not always nice. You don't have that in that form. So the qualities that you experience are the only pure qualities that the divine has, because the divine doesn't have anything but good qualities.
Okay. Wow, that was amazing. I love it. I love it. Now I know, it's a mind blowing, I would like to say, for some of the people who are hearing us today, because if somebody didn't have that experience, out of the body experience, I had an out of the body experience, but I didn't feel like you felt. I just only saw my body outside. I was lying down, and the only thing I was freaked out. I was a long time ago. I was saying, how I come back? How I come back? And I start praying. I said, oh, please come back, please come back. I would like to come back to my body. How they're going to exist without me? But anyway, but I didn't feel that energy. Maybe that was so quick. Anyway, for a few seconds, and it came back very quickly. But yeah, that was amazing. So feeling that, is that okay, the last question that's coming to me, I need to ask this. Is the love, is the emotion, or is the love, is the feeling?
It's a feeling.
Okay. Because so many people are saying, oh, that's emotion, so we can experience that. And that's the feeling.
Let's just say this, because I'm being corrected a little bit. It's a state of being.
Yeah.
Because so the divine is love. It's not like making you experience love. It is love. And so you are love. That's the thing. You are love. You're experiencing love. The divine is joy. The divine is those things. And so when you're experiencing it, you are it. And it's like if you are water, you're not experiencing water. You're not
Yeah.
feeling it. You are water. And same thing is in that realm, you are that love. You can't even get away from it. It doesn't ever stop. It's not a moment of love coming and then love going, love coming, love. No, you're it's constantly in you, soaring through you and through you, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah. So the only thing we've forgotten how to be love and how to see the love. We just, yeah. Wow, it's so amazing. Um, Is anything helped you, like my few questions and the last few questions, has anything helped you during your challenging time in your life? Any kind of affirmation, or maybe any one of the books behind you, you read it, or maybe any kind of the mantra, whatever that helps you, would you mind just only share with my audience?
Sure. I think the biggest one is knowing, because I'm a Gemini, and those people who are Geminis are probably going to laugh. The mind is pretty busy for Gemini. They're constantly curious and wondering about something and want to talk about it, So the
Mhm.
mind can get pretty busy, and sometimes the mind can be clouded by things. And what I've experienced through some tough times, because I've had some pretty challenging times in my life, I when I understand that key quality of the real truth of what the divine is, and that I'm not separate from it, and that it knows the way for me. That's when I immediately reorient myself and get guided.
Yeah.
on my path. And I find that that is extremely helpful, especially having a business. As you know, having a business, you constantly get challenged to be able to take yourself to the next level because you deal with those unconscious fears. And when you can say, okay, let's just readdress here. What's going on here? What's the truth? What's your fear? What do you need? Okay, I need this.
Yeah.
So, divine, you're going to show me the solution to this problem because I know you have the answer and I know that you will show me the answer. And I tell you, the miracles happen. Every time I do that, I get the answer within days. Someone will reach out to me, oh, da da da, and they're giving me the answer for something.
That's true. That's completely true. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree with that. Even I just only would like to share with my audience today. Like I had a conversation today, not today, it's 2 months ago, because I was on the training day. Uh, and then I just only met a beautiful girl and she would like to help me with my social media. And she offered for me something and she forgot. Actually, she forgot for the reason. And just only reached her out uh, 1 month ago. And then I just only left. I left for divine time, divine situation. And yeah, I was just only keeping asking, like always, I'm just keeping asking my spirit, please show me the people, just only still my life today. That's the same. I will be the same place or maybe different place, but just only bring that people or draw that people to me. They can help me to change and place me at the right time. And then suddenly she just only reached me out today. I said, oh, where's that come from? So it's like addiction, which is only addicted to just, or maybe because of too much expectation and just needs to be in that time, in that time. But when you leave it and forget it, I will come back to you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, so
right.
that's where I agree with you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. So where the people can find you if they would like to talk with you one to one or have a one to one session or buy your book. By the way, you can tell them. I don't want to say anything. So
Yeah, you can find me on my website, which is liveatransformativelife.com. If you don't know how to spell that, you can spell my name, GenevieveTaeger.com, and it will redirect to that website. And you can find my book there. It sells on Amazon in all kinds of countries. So I've got the links to each country, wherever you are, and it'll take you to the Amazon in the country nearest you. And also, I am on Instagram quite a bit, Genevieve.Taeger. And yeah, I'm doing a lot of reels. I'm doing some channeling. And also, I recommend people sign up to my newsletter because I do some channeled messages and so forth. And yeah, and I do my announcements of what I'm doing in the upcoming months.
wow, that's amazing. Thank you for coming and thank you for accepting my invitation. That was so beautiful to having you here today.
Yeah, I loved being with you and I loved your energy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.